What's up, guys? It is your boy Nerd Squad Gaming coming at you with a post-commentated Wi-Fi battle with none other than LG. My boy LGLegendary from Twitch. This was on his stream. We decided to do an OU battle. He got his commentary out on his stream. I figured it was okay if I did mine. So without further ado, he has his Heliolisk, his Conch, his Lando, his Scizor, his Altaria, what I assume to be his Mega Altaria, and his Volk. I'm coming with my teams before, my Mega Cham, my Klefki, my Volk, my Raikou, my Starmie, and my own Lando. So let's go ahead and hop on in. I didn't really know what his lead would be. I figured maybe it was, if he had a Scarf Lando, he could open up and go for the U-turn if I switched. But I decided to open up the Mega Cham regardless because it's my best bet. I can hit anything with a Fake Out, and he decided to open up with the Volt. So as I said, turn one, figured get that pure power, get that speed, and go ahead and hit him with a Fake Out. I didn't know if Lando was going to come in. I don't predict turn one really, and so I wasn't going to try to predict any sort of Ice Punch shenanigans or anything. So I didn't want to stay in case he decided to switch into the Lando, and I decided to go into my Volcanion. He goes for the Steam Eruption, doesn't touch me, obviously, because my water absorbability. I predict him to be choiced in a switch, but he's not. So he stays in, and I go for the Steam Eruption. He gets his HP back, goes for the Earth Power. Now, most Volks nowadays are choiced in some fashion, so it's a very, very good move on his part. Hits me with the Earth Power, takes me down almost to fainting, so wasn't happy with that. Decided to switch into my specially defensive Starmie. Figured we could take anything from this one. So he goes ahead and switches up, goes for the Sludge Bomb. We pretty much know his moveset. We've seen Steam Eruption, Earth Power, and Sludge Bomb. We figure his last one's Fire Blast or Flamethrower. So I know at this point my Starmie can pretty much take anything this Volk wants to dish out, barring a crit. So I go ahead and just go for the Recover, get back up to full, see what he wants to do, if he goes for any sort of switch. But obviously he doesn't, goes and goes for another Earth Power. Now his Earth Power, being its, especially defensive, being its non-stab, it's just going to keep doing just about the same amount to me. And after lefties and the poison, we left about where we were just the last turn. So I know my recovers can pretty much take out any, they can counter whatever he wants to do. But I decided not to stall it out, and I go ahead and go for a little bit of chip damage on him. He goes for the Flamethrower, I resist. He's not choice in any way, like choice specs. So I know we can tank it. And Starmie's, even though he's not hitting very hard, he's taking him pretty well. So we go to lefties, and we get hit with poison. And so he decides to switch out at this point, knowing that I can just keep recovering, and goes out into his Scizor. Now, he knew I was going to go for the Scald because of his water absorbability on his Volcanion. So it was a free switch in. And at this point, I'm fearing either the U-turn, the Bug Bite, the Knockoff. Pretty much this thing counters me every way. I'm not physically defensive, not that it would really matter with a Scizor hitting me. So I have to switch out at this point. Now, I don't know if he's Mega, I don't know if he's Banded, I'm not really too sure about the Scizor. So I figured my best bet was just to go into my Lando, hoping he doesn't Swords Dance, but he ends up going for the Knockoff, which is fine with me. He's -1, he's going to take some Rocky Helmet, we get a little bit of chip damage off on him, and I'm okay with that. So he's switching out, obviously fearing some sort of, EQ, etc. And I know at this point, since Scizor can't really touch me, it's a safe time for me to go ahead and get up my rocks, because he likes to switch in and out, and we're going to go ahead and punish him for a little bit of chip damage here and there. He predicts the switch, goes for the EQ. I decide I want to stay in and knock this thing off. I want to see what item it has, and he ends up being Scarfed, which is a nice move to hit him with the knockoff. So he hits me with a Stone Edge now that he's not choice anymore. Crits me, which is unfortunate but expected. So I hit him with a knockoff and not too much damage. So we switch out here, going around Klefki. Now with Lando in, I didn't think he would go for the EQ. Figured it was a safe bet to go think he would Stone Edge. He predicts the switch, hits me with the EQ, one-shots my Klefki, which is very unfortunate because I wanted my Klefki later on for whether the Altaria, the Scizor, get off some T-Waves, get up some spikes, which was unfortunate. So I bring in my Raikou, and being that he's not Scarfed anymore, I wanted to scare him with the HP Ice. Now, he's been predicting a lot, so I didn't know if he was going to predict my prediction and stay in. But I go ahead and just go for the HP Ice anyways, revealing it, and it doesn't really do anything to this Conch. Not sure if he's AV or what he is yet. So I wasn't going to stay in on it. So I go and switch out to my Lando. There's not much this thing can do to me. We get off the Intimidate, get a -1, and he just goes straight for the knockoff. But since my Rocky Helmet's already gone, not really going to do too much to me. It does about 30 damage, if that. So he has to switch out. And with my Lando in, I figure he was going, again, back into his Lando. It's a pretty common play. He gets off the -1. Figures if I go for Earthquake, he could, won't get hit by it. I decided to go for the U-turn because I knew he would switch. There was nothing he could hit me with unless he had an Ice Punch. So I decided to go for the U-turn and go back in. So now I got the switch initiative at this point, and I decided to go to my Medicham. Now I figure if he was some sort of, let's say he was Scarfed Adamant, I figured that was okay, that I wouldn't have to, that my Cham would outspeed. Well, it turns out, even though he's not Scarfed, and I am max speed Adamant, he does outspeed me, which I'm assuming means he's Jolly. So I take a good chunk of damage, but I have enough to where I can at least live and take him out with an Ice Punch. So Lando's gone, very content with that. I want that thing gone. And in comes the Helios. So I don't know if this thing's Scarf, if it's choice in any way. So I decided I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to go out in case he decides to Volt Switch, take out my Cham. That I would bring in my Lando. Well, he decides to go for the Hyper Voice, which pretty much means I'm just going to sack my Lando at this point. And I get some switch initiative. At least I can bring something in on this. My Lando's gone, but it could be worse. So I bring in my Raikou. I don't think he wants to take really anything to his Helios from my Raikou. So he goes ahead and switches out and brings in his Volk. Now I'm not really too sure. I don't know if what exactly he was predicting at this point, bringing in the Volk on my Raikou, but maybe he just wanted to sack something, figured this wasn't going to do too much anymore. So I Volt Switch, take out the Volk. But he doesn't. I thought I would take him out, but he actually lives. So I wasn't too happy with that. But my Cham's going to outspeed, going to go ahead and hit him. He probably figured the fake out was coming, so it was time to just let Volk sack him. So with my Medicham in with only 10 HP, he brings in his Scizor. And I figured the Bullet Punch was coming, so I was going to go ahead and switch out anyways. Now I'm sure he assumed the switch was coming, so I figured the best thing to take anything from this guy is my Volk. If it was a bug move, if it was a Bullet Punch, this was the guy. I figured he wasn't going for the knockoff. So he defaults, get rid of the rocks, Volk's in there. And I figured my best bet at this point, just go ahead and go for a Flamethrower. I knew it was going to resist it, but I figured we would just go ahead and hit one off anyways, and we get the burn off the Flamethrower, the 10%. We get off the Flamethrower, which is unfortunate for him if he is the physical variant, which I'm assuming he is the physical Mega Altaria. So he gets Natural Cure, he gets the burn away, but brings in his guy, and I go ahead and switch out, and I go into Starmie. Now, I don't really want to stay in on this because I don't want to take a knockoff, and so I stay in anyways, because I guess at this point it was kind of get some chip damage off on him, and he does go for the knockoff and ends up taking me out. Starmie's not going to live a hit from this thing, so it was about time. Go ahead and let Starmie go down. It wasn't even doing too much else to me, and I at least get some switch at this point. So with Mega Medicham, as we know, we get the fake out move. So he decides to bring in his Scizor and go ahead and take this fake out, which he takes fairly well. And now again, I'm not going to stay in, but I go ahead and find out this is a Rocky Helmet Scizor, which completely threw me off. He knew what he was doing. He knew I was going to go for the fake out, and that was a very good play on his part. So I figured if he's a Rocky Helmet defensive, my Volk would, I am max speed, so I would go ahead and hit him, and outspeed. So I decided to hit him with a Flamethrower. He brings out his Heliolisk, and Flamethrower just straight one-shots him, which is nice because I got that thing out of the way. So the Altaria comes in, goes for the Roost, figures that I was locked, and the fire move wasn't going to do anything really. I already got the burn on the first one, didn't have to worry about the second one. So I go ahead and get the burn again. Another 10%, my second Flamethrower in a row, which is pretty frustrating to him because now he does Mega, And he does end up revealing that he is the physical variant later on. And so it's going to be frustrating for him. So he goes ahead and roosts, and knowing that he could take this a little bit better, being that he's Megan now. But it still does about 40%, and he still is burned. Now he's under 50, and there's not much else wants to take it. But just in case, again, I didn't know at this point if he was physical or not, so I had to switch in case the hyper voice was coming. I figured the Raikou was probably something I wanted to bring in. I didn't care too much about Raikou at this point. Wasn't too much he was doing, so I figured he was expendable. If he stayed in, I could at least get an HP ice off. It would probably take 2 or 3 to get him going. But thanks to the burn, he's been taking a little extra damage. Hit him with the HP ice, do about 40%, which is very nice. Hits me with the return. He's -2, and though he does a solid chunk, it's really not doing anything to me. So he's now at about 35-40%. Go for the HP ice, and I figure this, whether this doesn't take him out, if that plus burn would take him out, and he wasn't going to keep taking him. So Mega Altaria, who would have been a huge threat, probably his D-Dance Roost return EQ set was gone, which is huge for me. So I decided to go ahead and switch out with the Scizor coming in. And again, my Volk pretty much bodies this in most ways. I actually live the knockoff, but it doesn't really matter because he does carry the BP. So Volk's gone, but he did his job by that point. He got me 2 burns. He pretty much made it to where Altaria didn't go ahead and sweep me. So I was very happy with that. So I bring in my Raikou, and again, I don't think there's much this Scizor can really do to me besides go for some sort of BP, and it doesn't do too much. So we go ahead and get off a Volt Switch, do some nice damage to this, and very, very happy with it. And it ended up being a crit, which was unfortunate because I'm pretty sure it would have lived it other than that. But this is my last Mon, so I had to go for my stab attack. So now we're down 1v1. He goes for the Mach Punch, thinking it's going to take me out. Doesn't end up taking me out, and I'm praying this is an Assault Vest. And my Volt Switch ended up taking out his Conch, which was a huge deal when we were down to our last Mon. So I was very, very, very lucky that game. I got both burns where he had to make the switch and then stayed in for the -2 return. And the fact that the Mach Punch didn't take me out, and he didn't seem to be any sort of AV variant where he ate up my Volt Switch. So very close 1-0. Always good battle for my buddy, and I was very happy. And I thank LG for the battle. So if you guys like this, please hit the like button down below. Please sub if you haven't yet, and please comment. And definitely check out LG. I'll have his link in the description below. Please go hit him with a follow. Thank you guys very much. I love you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll have more of these done in the future. I will catch you guys very soon. Peace.
For 9 go!